Okay, so when I say world's deadliest snake, what pops into your head? Probably some huge creature, fangs dripping with the most toxic venom on Earth, right? Well, what if I told you the snake with the most potent venom known to science is, well, almost harmless to people? Let's get into this because the real story of what makes a snake deadly is way more interesting and, honestly, a lot more important.
So what is the true measure of a killer? As you're about to see, it's not just about the raw power of its venom. The answer is a far more complicated and frankly, more dangerous story than you might think. All right, meet our number one suspect, the inland taipan from Australia. I mean, on paper, this thing is the undisputed champ. A single bite has enough venom to kill over 100 people. Let that sink in. No other snake on the planet even comes close to that level of pure toxicity. But this is where our whole story takes a very sharp turn.
And here it is, the big paradox. Despite having the most toxic venom in the world, the inland taipan is responsible for pretty much 0 human deaths. Why? Simple. It's incredibly shy, and it lives so far out in remote, desolate areas that it almost never, ever runs into a person. This is the perfect example of a crucial point. A snake's biological power is not the same thing as its real-world danger.
So, you see, true lethality isn't just one thing. It's more like a deadly cocktail of factors. Of course, the venom's toxicity matters. But you also have to factor in the snake's aggressiveness. Is it likely to bite? Its survival skills. Is it thriving and widespread? And the most critical ingredient of all, its exposure to us.
To really get a handle on the threat, we have to look past just the venom. We need a new way of thinking about it, a new risk matrix. So let's break down the real formula for what makes a snake a killer.
Here they are. You could call them the 4 horsemen of snake bite fatality. First, you've got toxicity, the pure power of the venom. Second, aggressiveness, the snake's personality, its temperament. Third is survival, its ability to thrive out there in the world. And the final and maybe most important factor, exposure. How often do our worlds collide? When all 4 of these things line up, well, that's when things get really bad.
And how bad are we talking? The World Health Organization estimates that every single year, snakes kill up to 138,000 people. This is not some rare jungle adventure problem. It is a massive global health crisis. And it's driven by the snakes that have absolutely mastered that 4-part risk matrix.
So with that in mind, let's meet the snakes that are actually at the top of that risk list. These are the Tier 1 threats, the species that are responsible for the overwhelming majority of human deaths around the globe.
Our first stop takes us to the incredibly dense, populated, rural areas that stretch all the way from the Middle East across the Indian subcontinent and into Asia. This huge region, it's the hunting ground of the planet's deadliest snake.
Meet the saw-scaled viper. It's small, it's hot-tempered, and it checks every single box on our risk matrix. Believe it or not, this one little snake is thought to be responsible for more human deaths than all other snake species combined. It thrives where people live and farm, it is notoriously aggressive, and because it's so small and camouflaged, people accidentally step on it all the time. It is the absolute perfect storm of lethality. This really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? On one side, you have the inland taipan, maximum venom, but almost 0 contact with people, which means it's a minimal threat. On the other, the saw-scaled viper. Its venom is only moderately potent, but its contact with humans is off the charts, resulting in a global catastrophe. This is the core lesson here. When it comes to real-world danger, exposure changes everything.
All right, staying in a similar part of the world, let's zoom in a little closer on the agricultural heartlands of South Asia, especially India. This is where another member of the infamous Big 4 snake species lives, right alongside millions of people. This is the Russell's viper. Now get this. In India, a country with a huge snakebite problem, this one species is responsible for an incredible 43% of all recorded cases. It is adapted perfectly to living on farmland, which puts it on a direct collision course with people every single day.
And a bite from a Russell's viper is just devastating. It injects a huge amount of powerful venom that goes to work on your blood and organs, causing massive internal bleeding and acute kidney failure. So again, you see that perfect, deadly overlap of a dangerous snake hunting right where people are at their most vulnerable.
Now moving beyond the vipers, we get to our Tier 2 threats. These are the neurotoxic specialists, snakes whose venom is designed to attack the nervous system.
They're often defined by two things: incredible speed and terrifying stealth. So for our next one, we're heading to sub-Saharan Africa. This is the home of a snake whose name alone is legendary. It's pretty much synonymous with speed and deadly danger.
The black mamba. Now, it doesn't rack up the same body count as the vipers, but its reputation is absolutely earned. When this snake feels cornered, it can strike multiple times, injecting a neurotoxin so fast-acting that symptoms can appear in under 10 minutes. With a mamba bite, the race for antivenom isn't a matter of hours, it's a matter of minutes. It is terrifyingly real. Okay, from the wide-open plains of Africa, we're now moving to the quiet of the night in villages all across Asia. Because here, a very different kind of neurotoxic threat is at work, operating under the cover of darkness.
This is the common crate, and its whole method is just insidious. It hunts at night, and it often wanders into people's homes for warmth or shelter. It's famous for biting people while they're asleep, and its fangs can be so small that the victim feels no pain. They don't even wake up. They just stop breathing as the potent venom shuts down their respiratory system. So, we've met the snakes, but the story doesn't stop there. The final, crucial factor in this whole deadly equation is us. Our societies, our access to healthcare, and our science.
Here's the hard truth. A snake bite so often becomes a death sentence because of where it happens. The highest death tolls aren't just where the deadliest snakes live, they're where poverty is worst, where the nearest clinic is hours away, and where life-saving antivenom is a luxury most can't afford. The snake delivers the venom, but it's social inequality that often delivers the final, fatal blow.
And even when antivenom is available, it is not a magic bullet. The challenges are enormous. For one thing, a snake's venom can be completely different from one region to the next, even within the same species. That means an antivenom that saves a life in one part of a country might be totally useless just a few hundred miles away.
But science is fighting back. Right now, researchers are chasing what is basically the holy grail of snakebite treatment, a broad-spectrum, universal antivenom. Imagine a single treatment that can neutralize the key toxins in a huge range of snakes, from vipers to mambas to kraits. So the final question isn't just about the snakes anymore. It's about us. Can we innovate our way out of this? Could we one day create a single master key to unlock one of nature's oldest and deadliest poisons? The answer to that question